All right. Here we are again. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. Let's just get ourselves all sorted here. Here we are once again playing Roadwarden by Moral Anxiety Games. It's exciting times, this sort of visual story RPG-esque thing. No worries, Wonder Fairy, and enjoy getting that cup of coffee. But here we are again. The splash screen says to invite a dragon is to be careless. Um, Going up against dragons is careless, apparently. I would think they're far, far worse than that, but hey, I didn't write this game. So we are still here at Foggy's Inn on Foggy's Lake. That's not the official name, but it's what they got. We have asked all the questions, but we have not figured out what is for sale and what is that we can sell. So, as it stands, I'm gonna just go through some things. We are Sauron the Roadwarden. After years of training to become a fighter, we've decided to come out to the northern peninsula to help the local villages and to make this region safer for the locals and newcomers alike. So we're a pretty helpful person. Whether or not it becomes any more uh, inhabited by people or by shells, as they are called, than it is currently is to remains to be seen. The herds of the wilds are very much a part of things, and we have to respect that. We use force as our main cool stat for our class of fighter, and while our vitality is above 0, you find ways to overcome physical struggles. We have advanced training, which means that we have an advantage during physical interactions that involve random chance. So, the random chance, at least for physical actions, is less of an obstacle for us. Our vitality is currently 3 out of 4, so we're doing pretty good right there. Our nourishment is also 3 out of 4, so we're pretty good there. Our armor's taken a little bit of a hit. It's only 2 out of 4, so we have to be careful of that. At some point, we're going to have to get it fixed. Our cleanliness is only 1 out of 3. We kind of need a bath, and our clothes are worn and torn, so we have an appearance that is not that great right now. But, we've been through it a little bit. We have a slight amount of combat experience, and every time we engage in combat, we will get better experience. We have spared hardly any animals, but we did spare a dusk fox family, so there's that. Our religion that we decided on is pagan, so we have a strong connection to nature and spirits. Although most other religions consider us to be sinister and treacherous, but we're not really. We're not. However, our faith in our religion is still undetermined. We have not really had any tests of faith as of yet. We have told 0 lies, none whatsoever. We have no sewing experience or gambling experience either. We have not played dice, nor have we attempted to sew anything. We don't even have the tools to attempt, so that's kind of why. As for the things that we have, we've got 7 food rations and 3 wild plants that we should probably consider eating in the near future. We have 9 coins, dragon bone coins in our pouch, and we also have a set of dragonling claws to sell. They're useful for crafting trinkets, spears, or tools, and that's about it. We also have an old blanket, a piece of rawhide that we managed to steal from some monkeys. It's in not great shape. It needs to be thoroughly cleaned because of the monkeys, but it's something. We also have a set of keys that belong to a door we don't have access to yet. Our horse we named Soda Pop because we could. We do have a fish trap. It is currently in the ruins for those who know the game. We have not managed to buy any more fish traps to put in other places. And we do have a gamison as a little bit damaged at this point in time. it needs some fixing. We do have a bit of rope in case we need it, and we do have a travel set with a bunch of odds and ends. A rainproof cloak, a set of bone needles, and a thread. Oh, I guess we do have sewing stuff. You have a crossbow, yes. An iron knife, a blade sharpener, a tinderbox, a couple of tallow candles, a bunch of rags used to make torches, as well as a flask of oil, a pair of protective gloves made of thick leather, and as well as some oak ash soap that is helpful for getting us cleaned up. We have a well-crafted battle axe, although we have seen a better one, but we can't afford it right now. And we have a crossbow with 9 bolts, so we have a wealth of damage implementation here at range and up close and personal. Welcome in, sorry, awkward. Glad to see you back again. So yeah, I was just going over some stuff just to let people filter in a little bit. We have a bunch of quests. We've only managed to check on Old Pagos and escort the scavenger completely. Everything else we're still working on, so we must explore the peninsula, help others. We did help the scavenger get to a safe spot, so we're going through that. Yes, I'm pretty sure we need a specific sewing set, but we have not come across it anywhere, and therefore it has not been bought. We need to find the the old Roadwarden, Asteron, but he died somewhere in the north, is what the consensus is. We don't quite know where. We need to think about the Eastern Path. Theus wants to open it up again, but who knows? Hello, Crystal Mancer. Hi, welcome in. I have a feeling I know exactly which friend has poked you here. Very dear friend of mine, but hi, welcome in. Appreciate you guys. Wow, I've got the Crystal Mancer and the Last Gasp that followed here just a few minutes ago. So congrats, you guys. Welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy yourselves. Great to have you. Whether you lurk or whether you participate when we get to chat votes is up to you guys. I'm just happy that you're here. I did get a Casper8651 following me, but they have yet to show up in chat, so welcome to them as well. Glad to have you. Yeah, we need an Empress Carp. The druid from down south wants one. We have not yet been to Gale Rocks, which is why we have not picked it up. Oh, thank you, Crystal Mancer. I appreciate the compliment. I'm banking on my voice as it is. Maybe someday I will even get into reading stories again. Actually, this is half a story, so I hope you enjoy. Glaucia's band is sort of kind of a bandit group. Sort of kind of just people who are desperate and angry about stuff. So we'll see if we can deal with them. We have somebody who's attempting to find a husband. Hey, Trav. Nice of you to join us. We have a merchant who needs a potion for their daughter. Primarily so that their daughter hates them a little less, but also so that she stays safe while she's out and about in the woods. Great. Now everyone's going to compliment my voice. The blushing has started. Thanks, guys. We need to recruit a hunter. We've talked a lot about Erastos. I'm terrible with these names. I apologize. But we have yet to speak with Cassia because they're in Gale Rocks, I believe. Yeah, Gale Rocks. So we have to talk to a lot of people about this person before we decide who to invite to Pelton North. Count. Hey. Yes, apparently I do have a pretty voice. You guys are welcome, I guess. It's just the one that I was born with. I don't really know what to tell you. I just have it. It's a thing. The flustered blushing has begun. You're welcome. We have learned a lot about the ruined village. Apparently the herds of the wilds just got real pissed off with this village and demolished it. There's some pests still living there as well. So that's something that we'll eventually have to deal with if we ever have enough money, or maybe we'll deal with it ourselves. I don't know. We are also still attempting to get the support of Howler's Dell for various reasons. Primarily, Havlavin wants to expand trade routes into this northern peninsula, and Howler's Dell is kind of the first big settlement to be their contact for them. And so we need to gain that city's, or town, I should say, village-ish place, their trust, so that they'd be willing to at least put up with us, much less bring in new trade or deal with new trade, etc. We also have a swamp altar that we have no idea what to really do with. It is called the Beholder Tree, and well, yeah. Yep, I had a feeling that I Count from Zero brought you here, Crystal Mancer. He's a dear friend. I've known him for basically an age, over a decade now. And so yeah, every once in a while, he's just a great person and supportive of his friends. And here I am doing a thing, attempting to do a thing, and well, the support is very kind. Sorry, Awkward is under the impression that we need to kiss the tree. I'm not saying no, but we haven't gotten around to it yet. We're kind of a little far north to go back and kiss a tree. I'm all about tree hugging, really, but this one is a little bit furry. So that's kind of, I don't know, disquieting. It's the truth, though, Count. You are very supportive of all your friends, and it's very appreciated by all of us. So, yes, make out with tree is definitely what he mentioned. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yes, we have a glut of new people today. It's fantastic. I'm super excited. So with all of that, here's some people we know about. Here's some places that we know about, and most of which we've been. Not all, but most. And here we are. We have managed to catch a fish. We have reached Howler's Dell as our first village, and yeah, we used to be a fighter. So let's find out what there is that we can sell and see if it will be for more money. Now Winter Fairy is on the compliment bandwagon. You guys. You guys. All right. And I may be willing to buy them. So let's see how much she'll give us. Pointy. She touches the tip of a claw with her finger. From a runner. After you correct her, she nods with approval. A full set from a Saurian's paw. It would look plenty fine on a table at a feast, with some berries between them. You spot a hint of a smile behind her scar. 3 dragons. Sweet deal. We would have only gotten 1 dragon coin in Howler's Dell for these things, but here we can get 3 dragons. I'm pretty sure that is that is the most we'll ever get for these things. So I'm glad that we held on to them. Sorry, Awkward. Yeah, not likely. Maybe. I mean, never say never. I'm not too old to become a voice actor, but let's see if I ever get discovered through Twitch first, shall we? Yes, Crystal Mancer, you're amazing. You have amazing friends. Now that we have a friend, we know we have a friend in common. So now you're amazing too. Yeah, let's take this deal. Let's make some money. We have 2 votes in chat for deal, but it's 1 or 2, deal or no. You guys tell me. The consensus will show. The rhyme is on purpose and accidental all at the same time. I do them and I don't know why. So we have 7 viewers at the moment. I realize that some of said viewers are just lurking about, which is fine. I love my lurkers, absolutely do. But yeah, at least 4 votes to ensure that I have the majority. We have literally 4 votes for deal. So sweet googly moogly, we're taking this deal. 3 dragons. We've practically I think that's the most I've ever made at one point. No, that's not true. We've gotten 5 before. So now we have a whole 12 coins. Like, this is the most money I've ever had on this character to date. The most money. This is day 5, and this is the most money I've ever made. So what does she have for sale? Now you're talking, she grins. Well, I could serve you some of my cooking. Not food rations, mind you. Need what we can save for the winter season. Let's say you give me a dragon, and in return, I'll cook for you 4 times. You just need to ride up when you're hungry, and other than that, you won't take any wood or stone, are you? Seeing you shrug, she waves it off and heads towards the trapdoor. After a minute, she shows up with a sack that clangs after every step. I can sell you some scraps. She pulls out a couple of iron clasps, nails, and a broken steel blade. A value trash. We found them while forging. We don't have a furnace in Creeks, but you could sell these bits and pieces to someone else. She observes you for a moment, then shrugs. Let's discuss the price. Let me take a look first. So, we can spend a dragon coin for 4 meals every time we stop here, which would include today, which would be fantastic, actually. That's actually a really great price. For 6 coins, we can buy bits and pieces made of iron and steel, which we can trade elsewhere, probably for a better price. Like, that is not a bad deal. We do know that Old Pagos, or possibly, no, not necessarily Old Pagos, but most certainly Howler's Dell will take it. Yes, we can do both. We have 12 coins. We could spend 7 of them and be set for this place. Like, clean them out. See, we got 12 coins over here, and this altogether is 7. So, yeah, the price is super good. Like, we have to pay like 2 coins in Howler's Dell. So I think this is the point where I go both is good, and just it doesn't matter what chat thinks, both is good. Oh my goodness. I see that Count has been busy telling all the friends because Reely and Kenyon are also hanging out in chat now, guys. I mean, they may not decide to say hi, but welcome, welcome. Thank you for following. Kenyon, hi. Welcome in, welcome in. Glad you could join us. Thank you, Count. I happen to know some of these people. They're very, very nice people. But thank you guys for joining us. Glad you could come around. Hey, really? Yes. You are welcome to hang out, lurk, or I do voting in chat quite often. So if you guys want to hang out, great. If you want to help with the making me help make decisions so that I don't have to, also great. Yes, you can always count on I count from 0. Are we headed to where we can sell the iron soon? We're actually headed further around. I think we want to make it all the way to Gale Rocks and or Creeks, whichever one is farther away, before we head back down south. But yeah, it will not be a problem to cart it around. It really won't. Yes, I have fallen out of certain friend circles from before. As Kenyon and Reely can say, they haven't heard from me in an age. So yeah, I'm glad to have you guys with me again. It's nice to hear from you guys. So welcome in, welcome in. Yes, I have known Kenyon for quite so many years too, although not necessarily under my current streaming name. Oh, that's awesome that you were excited. Well, goodness, I'm getting all the love today. You guys are making my Thursday quite special indeed. All right, so we're just gonna grab both of these things because they're super useful. We have 4 meals left, and we could pay for more if we wanted to, but we're not going to. 4 meals is plenty for now. And then we're gonna also grab all the bits and call it a day. Awesome. So I'm not going to eat yet because my nourishment is still pretty darn high. I actually think that now that it is 2 hours and 30 minutes before dusk, we're going to get some sleep here because, oh boy, we need the sleep. We can't fix our armor here. Maybe we can take a bath in the lake tomorrow and freshen ourselves up. But yeah, I can say it's time for me to go, but I think I'm just going to sleep. Hey, Dragon. Welcome in, Dragon. I have a ton of new people today, so you get to meet all kinds of new friends, Dragon. Look at this. Yes. Well, what will fix our Gameson is going to Howler's Dell because they have a person there that can do that, possibly elsewhere, but Howler's Dell for certain. What will upgrade it is getting spider silk from very giant spiders. So for those of you who are arachnophobic in the chat, be aware we have giant spiders. Yes. Dragon's Wolfblade is our local dragon. We actually have two. There's also Dragon Sparks, but they go by Sparks. So, yes. So just be aware there are spiders in this game, but I very much doubt it'll be anything but description of spiders. I don't believe will be any pictures for those who are arachnophobic. So just be aware they do exist in the game. There's nothing I can do about that. Unlike with Skyrim, I can't mod them to be bears instead. So, we can sleep in the main hall, which will be a minus to our vitality, a minus to our nourishment, and a minus to our appearance, which we have none at the moment, so it doesn't matter. Or we can sleep in the attic for either a dragon coin or 2 of our 4 rations. That will be a plus to our vitality, but a minus to everything else. A less of a minus to appearance. But honestly, I'm not super worried about it right now. We should be okay. Even if we're down to 2 vitality, we're gonna be okay. So I'm just gonna sleep in the main hall. I'm not even gonna put this up to a vote. Let's just save our coins, save our rations, and sleep. Get some sleep. I do love this pixelated isometric art. It's just so good, guys. It's so good. Look at this. So cool. As you prepare your belongings, you realize that the days are getting noticeably shorter. The closer you get to autumn, the less time you have before the beasts of the nights leave their lairs. For now, it won't be that bad, but I better make sure not to waste too many hours. The monstrous shouts wake you up. The night is bright, and from the window of the tavern you have a good look at the yard. A few massive dragonlings are exploring the courtyard, knocking over wooden tools with their tails, putting their noses into buckets and underneath the stairs. You count 5 of them so far, but you can't see the entire area at once. One of them spots your look and moves closer. Still, it doesn't try to climb to the door. Maybe it's experienced enough to know it won't get through. Do we close the shutter slowly, go back to sleep with our axe in hand, or scoff and leave the shutter open? Stupid lizard. 1, 2, or 3. Close, sleep, or scoff. I will take numbers or keywords. It's up to you guys. With currently 11 viewers in chat, we will need 5 people to vote. I will go with the consensus. So it looks like the vote started off with Winter Fairy saying go back to sleep. Trav voted for 1, as did Count. Nobody wants. Trav has also advised not 3. So the 1s are currently in the lead. 5 people need to vote, and I will go with the consensus. Feel free to vote however you like. If there happens to be a tie, of which there shouldn't be, I get to choose, and I may in fact go with the ill-advised number 3. So I do not believe the dragonlings can get through the window. Either way. Hello, Karena1, who followed. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I have 3 votes for 1, 1 vote for 2, and 1 vote for 3. Stupid lizard, we can take them. All right, it looks like the 1s have it. So we will close the shutter slowly. Sorry, Awkward, you got outvoted. So as you can see, we're down to 2 vitality and 1 out of 4 nourishment, but we're gonna fix that here in a mo. It's an exhausting night. Soda Pop keeps stepping in place or walking, taking only short naps. You can't count how many times you try to calm it down with your voice, touch, and by offering it water or a snack, but nothing helps. You close your eyes for an hour or so in the late morning, then clean up after your mount. The stench alone is disarming. Foggy turns towards you and waits for you to speak. We're gonna get something to eat because we have meals here, and why not? We're hungry now. It's morning. If we were going to fight, number 2 is the sanest. Yeah, we were fine, really. Pretty sure that the local wildlife has learned not to attack this particular house or get stomped. All right, Kenyon, please get to work safely. I prefer your safety over having you here, but if you're just going to throw it on in your car stereo, that's awesome. Thank you so much. But yes, get to work safely, please. All right, we're going to eat. She stretches out her arm and grabs a bowl. Give me a moment. You sit down at the clean table. After a moment, the keeper brings you old rye bread, a fistful of nuts, a roasted rat, and a mug of acorn brew. Once you're done, Foggy packs the leftovers for you as a snack and for the rest of the day, and mentions that you've already paid for another 3 meals. All right. So that is all we have to do at Foggy's. It would be great to have our vitality up higher. We could rest and make that happen. I've never actually rested in this game, but I'm not too worried. We do have high enough nourishment to overcome physical struggles. I wonder, can we eat some wild plants? Nope, we have to be out of where we are at. So, time for me to go. Soda Pop is lazily looking around. We can re-enter the tavern, but we have nothing to do there. We can approach the foragers, or we can wash ourselves in the lake. And honestly, I'm gonna wash myself in the lake first, because that way people will want to talk to me, because we smell right now. You enter the bridge and move to its edge. Somewhere below you, you notice a glimmer. Hey, you! Step back! Run! Without even thinking, you leap towards the yard. A long, teeth-filled mouth breaks through the water surface, splashing it in every direction. It bites the empty space where you were just standing, while the front limbs, thick-scaled and ending with claws as large as your fingers, land on the wood. Once the saurian's yellow eyes notice that you're outside of its reach, it nonchalantly slides into the lake. You hear laughter coming from the yard. The large forager who's wearing leather was running with help, but now stands with hands on his thighs, cackling without rest. The man in black fur, on the other hand, looks at you with worry. You see a hand kept beneath his cloak as if he was reaching for something. What are you doing, I? The lake isn't for outsiders. So, we have a vote between 1 or 2. We can gasp for air and thank them for the warning. I'll stay away, don't you worry. Or raise our voice. Maybe warn me first. 1 or 2. We need 5 people to vote in total. I will go with the consensus. Currently, the ones are in the lead with 2 votes. Yeah, we probably should have asked, but, we just wanted to get clean. And now they're laughing in amusement, so, clearly we were capable of not getting ourselves killed. 1 or 2. Thank them or yell. Chat, you tell me. What are we doing? Ones are currently in the lead, but I have 3 votes for 1. I need 2 more people to chime in. Just that I have the consensus. Regardless of what you vote. That's 4 votes for 1. Looks like the ones are going to have it. So unless there's anyone else who has a compelling reason for yelling, perhaps thanking them might be good enough. All right, thanking them it is. He just nods and gestures for his companion to cut it. They both move towards the gate. Well, let's go talk to them. Clearly, we will not be getting clean here. Once the man in black hears your steps, he nudges his companion and nods towards you. They put away the old noose traps they were trying to fix. proper for hares and small birds. The tall one spreads his arms, thundering his loud welcome. A Roadwarden, I guess we're going to see each other a lot. I'm Ilan. This shorty here is Zivy. We'll go with Zivy because I do not know that language, and nor do I understand how to say that word. It's not English, that's for sure. And I have American English, so it's bad to begin with. The man in black fur looks up, frowning. There's also the one-handed man you saw in the attic. Unlike the rest of the staff, he has an unkempt beard and worn clothes made of blue fabric, patched with scraps of flour sacks. He's looking down to examine a trap, but his shoulders are slumped, eyes absent. Does not introduce him. I have this sneaking suspicion that that's Asteron, but I don't have any option to press. Oh well. Do we introduce ourselves as Salrun, nice to meet you, or do we just greet them with a nod? One or two? You guys tell me. Chat, what will it be? Rhyme intended. I have 2 votes for 1. 3 votes for 1. It is good to get out our name. Our reputation will depend on it. So I believe the ones have it. Salrun, nice to meet you. Ilan smiles. Were you at Pell to the North yet, friend? He blushes. How's Dalit doing? We could tell our very first lie and say we haven't been there yet, it is a lie. That was one of the first places we went to. Or she's well, seems to keep the whole crew together, which would be the reasonable response because we've been there. No worries, Dragon. Have fun in Apex. If you're streaming later, when my stream finishes up, we might come raid you. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hint, hint. This isn't some place where giving your name is giving your name. Far less dangerous here. Yeah, there's no Fae shenanigans in this game, thankfully. Supposedly. So, looks like the vote started off with 2, and I've got 3 votes for 2. So 1 or 2, lie or she's well. Numbers are keywords. I take either. We have 10 viewers, so 5 voters would be lovely, and I will take the consensus. Because I love to hear from my chat. They're the bestest. Especially when they don't make me make decisions. Supposedly no fake shenanigans. Well, you would know one way or another, sorry, awkward, in your 4 playthroughs. All right, looks like we're going with 2. We're not gonna tell lies today. We haven't started lying, and we don't intend to, apparently, according to chat. She's well, seems to keep the whole crew together. His voice gets drowsy. Her soul is young, but everyone listens when she speaks. She's always so bored, that one. His smile turns into a grin. Better say hi to her for us. Her boss was looking for hard drinks and healing potions. I wish I could have helped her. He glances at his companion, who's currently observing a column of ants running alongside the palisade. They were offering good prices, and she was really good at dice and told us about so many monsters. Zavi adjusts his black cloak. Our traps won't fix themselves. How about you bring us? What brings you to us? Ilan frowns at the interruption, but says nothing. Looks like we got a bunch of questions. The last option is I walk away, which will end the conversation. So we could do these in order. We have 5 questions here. You can do 1 through 5, or as a 6th and 7th option, I can do top down and just read through them, bottom up and read through them in a different direction, or you could even request every other, every 3, whatever you want. So that is the vote in front of us. I will take answers in 1 through 5, top to bottom, bottom to top, or every whatever. The hard drink we can probably find. The healing potions are a little bit scant because there is a plague in Old Pagos, so. It looks like the majority has said top down. Although, sorry, Awkwardness says bottom to top. Interestingly enough, when it comes to the way this game works, we really can do these in any order and it shouldn't matter. Indeed, really, Squirrel. I'm well aware of Fae shenanigans, and yeah, lacking physics, defying language magic, it's polite to tell people who you are, and useful usually. It isn't that the Fae don't mind you saying names, it's just that don't give your whole name away is kind of the way to go. You'll notice that Sauron never gives away a family name or any other type of name, just Sauron. So, I'm not even sure we have a family name, to be quite frank. It looks like for the majority, we're doing top down. That is what I can see. Unless somebody has a compelling reason not to do anything else. I will just do them in the top down order that I decide because I can make decisions, I just don't like to. What's your plan? I could use some work. Zavi nods and Ilan's voice gets even louder. Glad to hear that. There's hardly any fruits left around here and even fewer mushrooms, so we're planning to do some bird catching, a hunt without killing. Maybe not today, but in 4 days, maybe a bit later. What do you say? We could say, why would you need my help with birds? Don't you just let them walk into traps? You could say, how much do you pay? Or we could say, I can't leave my horse behind. 1, 2, or 3, chat. What will it be? You guys tell me. And then I will make the decision for the majority. Rhyme intended. Indeed, really, Squirrel. Yep. Although, if you only give them a piece of your name, you're usually much safer than if you give them the whole thing. Giving a Fae creature the whole of your name is a terrible, terrible idea. A nickname, however, survivable. The vote has started with 2 votes for 3. If 5 people could weigh in on this total, I will go with the majority. 1, 2, or 3. Why, how, or horse? I have 3 votes for 3. Feel free to weigh in, chat. I love participation. But it is optional, lurkers. You can lurk all you like. I have 4 votes for 3, so basically I have all 5 votes for number 3. Can't leave my horse behind. Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. Ilan waves a hand, just like his mother. The idiot will take care of it. The one-handed man starts to object, but a harsh shut up from Zavi makes him sigh. His shoulders sag. Ilan goes on. He's a loony and would stumble over his own feet on a trip, but does what he needs when told to, and you know he won't steal it. He hates animals. Oh my. I'm pretty sure Soda Pop would scare the birds away, Trav. Not so much chase them into traps, but good thought. All right. Well, that is one of the 3 questions that we have answered. So, which one do we do next? Why would you need my help, or how much do you pay? 1 or 2? What shall we do, chat? It's up to you. Rhyme intended. The food is not expensive here, no. It's expensive elsewhere, though. Goodness. The vote has started off with 2 votes for 1. What does the rest of chat think? Please. Tell me, chat, tell me true. Which decision shall we do? I leave it up to you. And the rhyming comes and goes. I can't stop myself. I'm so sorry. Holy cow. We have met my follower goal of 40 people. Thank you, Churchified. Thank you, Kinsem. Thank you for following. Welcome in, welcome in. Glad to have you. Well, goodness, I just set that goal like the other day, so it looks like we're setting it again. Here we go. 50 followers. Let's go. Welcome in, Churchified. Yeah, I Count from Zero has basically been heading up the horde of friends that I haven't talked to in quite some time. So welcome in. Welcome for joining us. Glad to see your guys' support. I've been friends with I Count from Zero for over a decade, so I appreciate that you guys would follow him here. So yeah, welcome. We are in the middle of a vote between between two questions, basically. Why would you need my help with birds? Don't you just let them walk into traps? And how much do you pay? So you can vote with either a 1 or a 2, or you can vote with either a why or a how. And with 5 people voting, I will take the consensus and click on that one first. Feel free to weigh in. Or just lurk, whichever you feel in the mood. Because we like you, sorry, awkward. Yes, I made that joke. Anyone who gets that reference is old. I've dated myself with that one. It looks like I have 5 votes for why, which is number 1. So we will ask that question first. Why would you need my help with birds? Elan glances at the cords used for snares. These won't do. We want to catch a runner, this big. He raises his muscular arm and stops it maybe a foot above his head. And bring it here alive. We want its meat for later. The man with one hand interrupts him. His voice is weak, but disdainful. Beasts ought to be dealt with, not tamed. Bonding with monsters brings only death. He has the accent of the city folk, same as yours. Will bring us full bellies in winter, squawks Zavi. Goodness gracious, we've got even more questions. Why? Because we need the money. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for coming, Churchified. Glad you could join us, and lurk away, you guys. Just appreciate having you here. So enjoy the lurk. Ricky Rat, indeed, I count. Very, very, yep, you know the reference. Absolutely. Yeah, we're just going to do top down from here. This is becoming a questions rabbit hole. So I'm just going to start reading, and we will figure out what happens in the end. How much do you pay? I mean, it may be a scary trip, but it won't take that long, Elan shrugs. Just show up here at noon or before it. We'll be back in a few hours. You'll get 5 dragons, 2 if the bird dies. That's a good price for one afternoon, I'm down for that. 5 dragons seems to be like a standard in this part of the world. It's interesting. A lot of our quests end up with 5 dragons. What's your plan exactly? Elan grabs the rope and shakes it in front of you. We'll catch its neck. Your part would be to keep it from running. Don't hurt it, just make it busy enough for us to surround it. Oh boy. I feel like I could use better equipment. Well, you shouldn't need weapons for it, friend. But you may look for something worthwhile in Howler's Dell, Elan points west. Akikos is all about trade, not much for idle talk, but he sells things for all his folks. All this sounds really dangerous. That's why we want you to do the rough part, Zavi smirks. We're just foragers. A Roadwarden knows how to fight, at least it's on its own, without its flock. Okay. We could argue with the price. What are you going to do with your catch? We'll tether it to the Palisades for a day or two, then take it to creeks. Our tribesfolk have enough space to look after it through autumn. Maybe it'll drop a few eggs, even if not, it's fresh food. Is there a problem with supplies in creeks? They exchange looks. Maybe, admits Savvy, but not big enough to make us pay you more. Okay, so here is the option. We can argue with the price of 5 dragons, or we can just agree. I don't think we want to make enemies here, so I'm suggesting 2, but it's up to chat. 5 people, you guys vote. 1 or 2. Bullshit or fine. Keywords or numbers, you guys pick. I've got 2 votes for 2 so far. We can get pretty far in that and back again, no less. So I'm not worried about the time for this. 4 days, yeah, we can probably make it to Gale Rocks and Creeks and back again in time for this. That's 3 votes for 2. 2 more people can weigh in. Sorry, Awkward likes to be an instigator and says more money. But the 2s are basically the majority at this point, so I'm pretty sure. All right, fine. I'll be back in 4 days or soon after that. Ilan grins. Do so. We still need to prepare, and you better do so as well. But don't make us wait for long. Let's not test the bird's patience. Just come one day before afternoon. Cool. I turn towards the one without a hand. Do you know Tulia? The man gives you a surprised glance, but then looks down and crosses his arms, holding his hand under his shoulder. I'm a new man now. There's nothing that ties me to the army. Ah. So this is the man that I suspected was Astron is actually from Tulia's camp originally. The soldier who ran away. Interesting. That was this is days and days and days of information ago in real time, but basically last week we learned that somebody had lost an arm and deserted and just left for one of the villages, and so we finally found him. Cool. Yeah, he was stupid and lost a hand. You've crossed a great part of this land, greater than most. Have you seen anything unusual? He takes a deep breath. His voice is close to a whisper. There's fog in my soul. I was on the eastern road, hungry and sick, praying for the right to send its beasts on me and save me from the pains of living. I remember the touch of fur and the breath on my neck, the claws pinning me to the ground. I was waiting with my eyes closed. Then I woke up in the middle of the night, still feeling. I got back on my feet, walking until I reached the lights of this tavern, without so much as a bruise. Foggy may have no faith in her heart, but the right used her kindness to give me a second chance. Ilan frowns at the man's words, and there's a cautiousness in his voice. He may be crazy, but it's true. He came here after midnight, raving. Maybe the monsters don't like his scent. So you forgot everything? He hides his stump in the palm of his hand and curls up. I've seen a dragon eating a tree, an ape that tore away the head of a monstrous cat, a wolf without fur that was as quick as lightning. Now leave me alone, evil spirit. Let my shame rest. He's shaking. Let him be, aye? Zabby grunts at you. Nothing wrong about a man trying to forget. Ilan rubs his chin. A furless wolf, friend? I've heard about one. Our tribesfolk saw it in the heart of the woods, a nasty beast. Let's hope it won't find a mate for breeding. It charges at you like a runner and jumps right at your throat. He touches his neck. So even the hunters stay away from it. Too bad we've no crossbows. He raises his wooden club. Aye, better to avoid the deep woods without one. Well, Chaos won't tell us about his visions because he's a little bit too keyed up. Have you ever met Aristos, the trapper? They exchanged looks as Zabby adjusts his dark cloak. We don't hunt all that much, just catch birds and so on. Why don't you try in creeks? That's fair enough. We've been asking everyone about him, so it's fine. Do you often have travelers here? Ilan's voice is like thunder. Nah, you may very well be the last one this season. Sometimes a group of adventurers, who knows why, and southern traders in spring and autumn. Most of our visitors are from the villages, usually creeks and Gale Rocks. They leave goods at our place or just outside, and my ma barters in their name with others. I mean, rocks, timber, furs, and barreled fish can wait a few days. What can you tell me about the peninsula? Yeah, he did pay his price. There's nothing against him. Like, we just want to understand what he's seen because we're interested in everything. Like, we want to know all the things. This is our peninsula now. We're the Roadwarden. We need to know all the things so that we know what to look out for. If we wanted to be weapon merchants, maybe they could have passed some crossbows, but that sounds like more money than we can trade in. We've had the ability to pick up a slightly broken crossbow before now. We decided against it because, like, we don't need it, and it wasn't worth the cash at the time. As we make more money, we might go back for it. But in any case, yeah, good points. Knowledge is power, value, and life here, and oh boy, do we need it. Zavi lets out a sigh. Not much to see here, trees, rocks, ponds. I've never been in Howlers, he starts, but then Ilan chips in. I have, a couple of times. A nice place, kind folks, lots of grain. But they have one trader, a Kikos. He pays poorly, but at least doesn't waste one's time. Gets straight to the point, see? He thinks for a bit. And they're all so tall, twice as tall as he is. He points to Zavi, who frowns and squeaks back at him. Bullshit. You gossip for the next few minutes, but the things they share with you are of little use. They end up saying that you should talk with Foggy instead. She used to travel a lot and speaks with every visitor. Well, we've already talked to Foggy, so we can do nothing more but walk away. So I walk away. All right, that is it for Foggy's Inn. It is time to travel onward. We have some options. We could go to White Marshes, but I don't want to yet because that place scares me just a little bit. We have 3 directions to go in. I'm not entirely certain where any of those 3 directions go. This one, we have, I guess, northwest, east, or south. That is the vote. Northwest, east, or south. We have 11 viewers in my chat at the moment, so if 5 people weigh in, I will take the majority of the vote. 1, 2, or 3, northwest, east, or south, number or keyword, I'll take either as the vote. Feel free to weigh in, you guys. Help me make this decision, because decisions are hard and I don't want to. I just don't wanna. That's why I play this game with you guys. Starting off the vote is Count with Northwest. Trav agrees with Northwest because that way we fill out the map better. I don't blame him. It's quite possible that South will be able to loop back through White Marshes, but I don't know. I know that Sorry Awkward probably does know this map better because he's played through the game 4 times. I don't, so it is what it is. I have 2 votes for Northwest, 1 vote for South. 2 more people weigh in and we will go with the majority. So please vote with your gut, your heart, your mind, just to vote and be a part of the crew, whatever you guys want to do. The rhyming happens on occasion. I can't help it, it's fun. Sorry Awkward is going northwest because the reasons Zero and Traveler said. Cool. Northwest is currently the majority. If I get 1 more vote in, I will go with the majority. I realize that it's easy to predict the majority once we've had at least 4 people, but I like to hear from my chat. You guys are the best. And it also gives me time to drink water. The last vote is in. Thank you, Winter Fairy. We only have 1 vote for the South, so we are going northwest because reasons. You follow the road, spread between the hills and lonely trees, until you reach a solid wooden bridge, not older than a generation. You ride uphill, but Soda Pop manages to keep up. The dark woods in the south are behind a gently humming creek, while the forest on your right was trimmed by the locals. It's a peaceful journey, at least for some time. After a few minutes, you spot a group of wolves feasting on a fallen furry beast, maybe a wizant. One of them looks towards you. We ride a bit faster. Nice, dragon. That's awesome. Ale, hydrate, and Gene. Um, enjoy D&D tonight. Have fun with that. The road fades into an old tunnel. There are no signs of mining, no signposts, no human voices. The ceiling is supported by wooden beams, but the light only reaches so far. The chilling wind mercilessly bends the few lonely trees, while the shrubs oppose the weather patiently. The side path leading west is somewhat maintained, and you find both boot prints and cart tracks. It leads higher into the mountains. I tether Soda Pop to the tree, then enter the tunnel. As a reminder, we do not have a lantern. Your mount observes the area anxiously, so you stay for a moment to give it a good scritch under its neck and say some confident sounding rubbish. You unpack all the things you need to make a new simple torch, a log, some old rugs, and a bit of oil. I think that was supposed to be rags, actually, old rags. You grab your tinderbox and sit on the ground for a couple of minutes, preparing the flint and the linen char cloth. Decades ago, before the southern invasion, people used fire strikers made of thick steel, but all you have is a cube-like piece of harsh pyrite. It's not the best, but it's enough to make a couple of sparks. The loud, flickering yellow light unevenly hits your cheek with heat. You raise the torch, but hold it at an angle, letting the oil drip on the ground. Let's see where the tunnel leads. Look, Taverns and Wenches is a perfectly valid D&D session. Just FYI. I have played D&D for the better part of a decade now. I got to it kind of late. But yeah. And it's a fun time, even when you're just doing Taverns and Wenches instead of Dungeons and Dragons. Honestly, avoid the dragons if you can. They're kind of deadly. Just a little bit. Absolutely. Tabletop RPGs, RPGs in general, tabletop video game otherwise are just kind of the bee's knees. This feels like the kind of adventure that can eat the 4 days quite nicely. Horses won't go through just means we need to come back out there. Yep, yep. I mean, I am a bard, so yeah. Indeed, indeed. For a few minutes, you follow a fairly straight corridor. The timber supporting the ceiling is decaying, but you don't spot any signs of collapse. The floor is littered with bones and rotting food, most likely dragged in here by wild beasts, but there are also signs of soot above you and boot prints left on the dried mud. You reach the crossroads and stop in place. There's no sconce in sight, but you'd have to constantly carry the torch or lose it for good, and it won't last for long anyway. The draft is hardly noticeable, so looking for an exit in the dark could be dangerous. To explore the tunnel, I need a reliable source of light, which means we definitely need that lantern. But we didn't buy it when we had the chance because we wanted to save our money. So we'll have to do it at some point. So we will just go back outside. Interesting. Soda Pop welcomes you with a nicker. All right. Well, we've this is something we will come back to. A bard necromancer. You're gonna do a bard wizard cross, huh? Fun times. So we can go north. We can also go east, and we can also go south. But the old tunnel we will have to come back to. So the vote is northeast or south. Northeast or south, 1, 2, or 3. You guys tell me. I have 8 viewers in chat, so if I get 4 people voting, then I will go with the majority. Dem bones, dem bones, dem bones. Yeah. Yes. So I have 2 votes for north so far. Possibly 3 if Sorry Awkward is going with Caleb's vote. We like Caleb. Caleb is a dear, dear boy. He's amazing and awesome, as is his dear sister. So, looks like I have 4 votes for North. To the north we shall go. Yes, Caleb is Winter Fairy's baby boy, although he's less a baby these days and more of a growing young lad. But yes, we always give props to Caleb in this chat. Caleb is our unofficial awesome boy. Yep, an actual boy, a real boy, not just a kitty cat. Oh goodness. Well, that's going to be awkward because Winter Fairy always agrees with Trav, and now Sorry Awkward always agrees with Caleb. This is going to end up being Trav has 3 votes. Oh, that's going to be funny. Oh dear, what have I gotten myself into? Trav, I've given you way too much power. But we're going north. We're going north. The detour is not as smooth as the main road. A wagon could make it through, but even so, you have to squeeze between some narrow corridors, hoping no beast is going to jump at you from a ledge. You walk, leading your mount with an axe in your hand. In the middle of the road, after reaching one of the higher hills, you take a glance ahead. Even from here, you see the sun reflecting from the ocean, but there's also a pillar of smoke coming from the distant west. There may be a volcano somewhere behind the horizon, but you can't tell if it's part of the peninsula or maybe a yet stranger land. Once you get to the other side of the mountain, you find the northern entrance to the tunnel, blocked by a large bronze gate, so tall and wide you're not sure if it's something you could open with your muscles alone. There's a keyhole as well, as large as your hand. Unlocking the tunnel would save me a lot of time, or I'm surprised no soul has tried to steal the door yet, or maybe somehow someone tried but failed. How do we feel about this large bronze gate? 1 or 2? Unlock or steal? You guys tell me. Aw, Caleb, nothing to be embarrassed about, my dude. Everyone here just adores you because you're adorable. I have 2 votes for 2, so the 2s are currently in the lead. 2 more people weighing in, and I will go with the majority. Should there be a tie, I get to choose, and I will not necessarily choose wisely. Bromley, nice of you to join us. Welcome in, and good morning. Good morning to the West Coast. So it looks like everyone. I've got. Aw, Caleb loves me. I'm so loved today. That just made my day. Like my day was already great, and now Caleb says he loves me. So my day is made, you guys. My day is made. I have been loved by an adorable little boy. If we had a key, surely we'd unlock. But yeah, folks here would likely just carry it away entirely. Is a rare resource. But I have 3 votes for. We're surprised no one has tried to steal the door yet, which means that's the majority. We're going with that. Or maybe someone has tried and failed. That is how we feel about said door. You get a good look at the village from a distant hill. It's torn between taming the crags and succumbing to their whims. The gray boulders are like the rotting teeth of a giant, sprinkled around by an ancient spirit. The carved cave mouths are covered with wooden doors. There are only a few windows, and you can only imagine how dark and cold the gouged out rooms have to be. The buildings and walls, made of logs or stone bricks, must be much younger than the caves. The impressive whitewashed keep, standing on top of the hill in the west, could just as well have been built in the city. Smoke rises from both sides of the wild river. You see many busy souls as they go about moving tools, food, and timber over the bridge. Your arrival at the eastern gate causes some curious glances, but the only person who approaches you is a man who is sitting at a table, discussing something with a few elders. He's carrying a crossbow on his back and a long rusty knife at his side, but doesn't reach for them. No worries, Winter Fairy. Enjoy lunch. I hope it's yum, yum, yum. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will at some point attempt to steal the door if it is ever on offer. um, well, that's not entirely true, Count. If we had some way of lighting up the tunnel as we went through, more reliable than a torch, we could probably walk Soda Pop through the tunnel and it would be the shortcut. We just don't have the things we need on hand currently. So it is what it is. It is likely that that will not always be the case. We know where the lantern is, we just haven't bought it yet. That's all it comes down to. We've been kind of broke loitering around the front, so. Yes. It must be a guard. I dismount. The man has to be older than 40. He wears an elegant blue-green linen tunic, but no armor. His skin is yellowish, like seaweed seen through a sunbeam. His long gray hair is tied in a ponytail, and his beard is trimmed to half a finger of length. A few large cysts make him look sickly, but his powerful, translucent voice adds to him strength and confidence. Cheers, stranger. You've reached Gale Rocks. You did. He observes your mount, then looks at the path behind you. I see no caravan from here. Are they coming? He suddenly meets your eyes and his tones gets even harsher. Or are you here to idle about? Ooh. I listen to the nearby conversations. You have to get used to some of the local words and phrases that you've only heard coming from the mouths of the oldest of city folk. The vast similarities to the tongue of Havlavin only make these differences more distracting. So, we have a vote here of the friendly answer. Don't worry, friend. I have things to do and I won't bother anyone. The playful answer. I grin widely. Nah, I'll just show you some tricks and I'm on my way. You know, second yolks to your eggs, images in fire, that sort of stuff. The distanced answer. I'm a Roadwarden. I'm here to solve problems, not cause them. The intimidating answer. Right now it's you who's wasting my time. I have things to do. Or the vulnerable answer. Trust me, I have enough problems of my own to now seek new ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Friendly, playful, distanced, intimidating, or vulnerable. Numbers are keywords. So long as 4 people weigh in, 4 to 5 people weigh in, I will take the majority. If there happens to be a tie, I will be a tiebreaker and I will guilt the entirety of my chat for making me make decisions. Or at least attempt to. Some of you are shameless. Trav and Countess started off the vote with 2 votes for 3, which means the 3s, aka distanced, are in the lead. What does the rest of chat think? Please, weigh in if you like. The voting is optional. Plenty of you like to lurk, and you're welcome to do so, but I love to hear all your voices, so I have votes for 3s. Oh, Count, don't you even start. Seems like the majority of my friends are pretty shameless. But yes, I did call them pretty too. I agree, Count. I don't think the guard needs us to be friendly. He seems to be full of business. I think he'll appreciate business, although I could see him also appreciating vulnerable as well. But we don't have that many problems as it stands, so it looks like the majority is currently at distanced, and I'm obliged. I will take the distanced answer. I'm a Roadwarden. I'm here to solve problems, not cause them. Wow. The majority was everyone. Another Roadwarden. Are all them parents in the South too dumb to teach their kids how to keep their fingers in their own pots? He shakes his head with exaggerated motions and looks at the elders at the table. A Roadwarden, see that? Trying to cut the conversation short, you lead Soda Pop inside, but you're stopped right away. Leave it by the walls until it's nightfall, right? We ain't cleaning up our roads after any drifters, bards, or adventurers. He speaks with growing disgust. Don't worry, we'll keep an eye on it. You tether your horse to the stems of a shrub, and the man nods with approval, then turns around. So, we can ask, won't someone show me around, or can you tell me anything about the village? I'm tempted not to leave this up to a vote. Because, honestly, asking about the village first before demanding to be shown around might be for the best. At the very least, they can say that we were respectful enough to ask first. I got 3 votes for 2 anyway, so it seems like everyone here is full of common sense today, which really should be called uncommon sense. I find that it is rather uncommon in these crazy modern days. Yeah, can you tell me anything about the village? He stops in place, then glances at your boots. Right. We fish. We salt fish. We sell fish. Our brave ones trade barrels for whatever we can get at other villages, but, he shrugs, not much else to it. You see, life here is slow. Without another word, he returns to the group of elders where he helps one of them remove bones from their meal. You go to... All right. We can... maybe there's some locals looking for a match in other villages. I was meant to speak with Cassia for Dalit. We can talk to the gatekeeper, or I'm looking for someone. We have 4 options. I have a feeling going from the top down is going to be the most useful at this point. I have a gut feeling, you guys. I've gotten some understanding of how this game works. I've gotten a feel for how the choices work. This really feels like I should start from the top and go down. Yeah, Count. I do realize that the subtlety is not lost on these people. They would prefer you to be blunt as a hammer to the face. So we're just gonna go with that. That seems like a good idea. Thanks for the heads up. Sorry, Awkward. I had a feeling that the I'm looking for someone was absolutely another text input thing, which is why I wanted it for last anyway. We don't really have the option to take a bath. Like, that's really the only option that would make the most sense. We could talk to the gatekeeper about maybe finding a place to bathe before we talk to everybody else, because we kind of stinky right now. But part of the fact that our appearance is so low is that our armor is a little bit ripped. We've taken some damage, so... It seems like the majority wants me to find a way to bathe. I'm gonna talk to the gatekeeper and see if I can't find that. This is probably our best bet to find that. Maybe, Count. I really couldn't say. Yeah, we totes need a bath. We totes need a bath. The guard you met when you first arrived at the village is leaning against the wall, observing both the gates and your mount. Whenever Soda Pop snorts, the gatekeeper reaches for his axe. He sighs when he notices your gaze. What? In most settlements, people are much more hospitable. We have actually heard that Gale Rocks is very stern. Fishermen, not very friendly. We've heard that from the scavenger. We've heard whispers of that from Theus. Yeah, we've heard it in places. He gives you an irritated glance, then stares into the river. Most settlements have fewer memories of getting robbed by drifters or of wasting their time on good-for-nothing adventurers. All of them free souls think they have the right to our patience and care as if they're some saviors of ours, each one of them. Well, we've been beating this land for centuries, with Right's help and the patience of our forebears, and if anyone wants our respect, they'd better work for it. When you notice that getting away from theft must not be an easy task, he answers slowly. Don't get any weird ideas, outsider. It's easy to disappear in the hills or at the crossroads. We've got to be vigilant, more than our allies. The stone colors at Old Pagos, they can let themselves be more open to strangers. They have neighbors, gentler roads, and less of a wall to defend. Okay. This is not going to get us a bath. I don't really know where to find a bath at this point, so I guess this is what it is. We're just gonna ask all the questions, because we ain't got much better options. Have you heard about the plague that has fallen on Old Pagos? The plague? His voice is close to a shout, and a few people glance towards the two of you. The guard grows pale. Better take it to our head woman, Warden. We were planning trade with them, we were. Wherever you're working with Cassia? He stops you with an annoyed grunt. What'd she do this time? Getting no answer, he waves it off. Right. I give her orders sometimes, but she's a tough rock and won't get polished easily. More often than not, she's the first one to run away, saying she'll get the others. Give me a break. Have you been bothered by bandits in recent seasons? What do you mean by bandits? That useless group of soldiers already faced them half a year ago. Ain't you heard in Havlavin? They killed and got killed. He shrugs, as if there's nothing more to add, but you try to push him harder, sharing some of the gathered rumors. Glousy and her group. You're wrong. She's from here. She wouldn't bother us, or our neighbors. She's just one of the lost free folk. Couldn't force herself to come back here after the events that can't be changed now. She's just hunting for treasure in the ruins, trading. That's where she gets her stuff, and coins. Maybe they're not quite so much bandits. I walk away. You suddenly turn around, sure that someone is watching you, but you find no one unusual. I was meant to speak with Cassia for Dalit. Finding her takes a few minutes. The other guards claim that she's patrolling the ground around the village, but you find her sitting against the western wall. Once she sees you, she straightens up, greeting you with spread arms. An outsider in our delightful village! Her shouts make you stop long before you reach her. And how can I be of service? Do you need help with bloodthirsty beasts? Are the treacherous bandits chasing after you? Have you lost the taste of life? Her sudden laughter makes the pigeons fly away. Speak, speak! Yeah, another Roadwarden. No, it's just that there was an old one. I know that you have not been here for some of the story, so I'm going to stop a moment and show. But we are trying to find the old Roadwarden named Asteron. He used to patrol these roads, but he hasn't been seen since early spring. We've heard from multiple sources that he might have disappeared in the northern wilderness. He apparently was trying to do some sort of investment that had the owner of Pelt of the North give him 50 dragons for it. He was supposed to bring a woman from Howler's Dell to one of the northern villages, and she died. He apparently bought a sickle sword that Pathfinders used to cut through the thickets from Akikos. He was up to doing some stuff, but yeah, it didn't go well. Yeah, but needless to say, we've literally had this quest from the beginning of the game. Like, these 3 quests here at the top are the first 3 that we've ever attained. So we're still looking for him. We have not yet found him. It's quite plausible that he's dead. It's also quite plausible that he's dead in the heart of the forest, which is a problem because that place is dangerous. Roadwardens are basically adventurers, but more than that. It's not that they don't adventure, it's that, well, they take messages to various places. They sometimes trade goods, they hunt. They are the epitome of a solo adventurer. And that is what we are as well. Just FYI. We were sent here, but we decided to go here as well. Like, we looked for the job offer of being a Roadwarden, and we were told go to the Northern Peninsula, and we went, okay, let's go. And now we're here. in the scary and dangerous north. Dalit heard you'd like to be a huntress. Splendid! As long as you can promise we'll head to Porcia for a filling dinner first, I'm ready to leave first thing in the morning. Her voice remains loud, adding to her confident gestures and cheerful stance. She's wearing a decent gamson, but it's lazily put on, without tightening the straps and cords, matching her loose, dirty, short hair. She's large, both tall and wide, but has a prominent stomach. The only weapon she's carrying is a club longer than your arm, and she swings it with enthusiasm. Her dark yellow eyes are as large as dragon bones, but you can't read much from them. Tell me about your talents. And where am I to start? She raises her club above her head. I can crush, I can smash, I can catch, I can dispatch. She takes a wide swing and steps forward. I tore out the first harpy head when I was 8. Bare hands. She shows you her open palm, twice the size of most humans. Troll hand, sister called me, until I... She hits the air between the two of you. Uh-oh. Are you not satisfied with living here? Great home, great people, she assures you. Great fish and salt. But the beasts, the space to grow? She moves her right hand in front of her eye, holding the thumb and index finger just slightly apart. Tiny. Fighting is one thing, but the wilderness takes cunning. You catch a glimpse of her hesitation when she narrows her eyes, but she soon returns to her loud self. Are you this eager to hear the tale of my deeds? Want me to tell you how I lifted the curse blocking the mountain trail? Or how I led all them Saurians away from our pier? Without me, this place, she kicks the wall next to her, would have fallen long ago. Before I ask you to go anywhere, I want to hear what your tribe has to say about you. Or I have no more questions. 1 or 2, chat. Which shall I do? It's entirely up to all of you. So, we have about 8 viewers now. If 3 to 4 people can weigh in, I will take the majority. 1 or 2, before or no more. You guys decide. Sorry Awkward says knowledge. Count also agrees. So that's 2 votes for number 1. Ooh, I hope you make a yummy lunch, Count. Feel free. But what does the rest of chat think? We have 2 votes for number 1. The rest of chat could tie it up with 2 votes for number 2 and make me decide, which would not necessarily be a good idea. But it looks like we have 3 votes for number 1 so far. And Bromley has voted for 2 just to be Bromley. Winter Fairy, there is no third option. There's just 1 and 2. So, this is what I know. Cassia is skilled, but not very smart. And very enthusiastic. The other guy is smart, not as skilled, and is running from a broken heart. Well, 1 + 2 = 3. So if Caleb, you can let Caleb know that if I could pick both, I would, but I don't believe I can. But good job with the math there, buddy. Clearly, school is teaching you things. The ones have it. I kind of like him too, Bromley. It's just this is the first time we've met Cassia, so we might as well see what other people have to say about her before we move on with that quest. Before I ask you to go anywhere, I want to hear what your tribe has to say about you. Suddenly, she looks down and clears her throat, then points at you with her weapon. You ain't saying you don't believe me, do you, stranger? Before you respond, she bursts into laughter. I guess so. We're a busy tribe. I better not hear you're causing trouble around here. Cheers! She says the last few words while being turned away from heading up the top of the nearest hill. I leave her alone. Interesting. Interesting girl. I can see the advantages and disadvantages of both, to be quite frank. The trapper is running from a broken heart. He needs practice with making and setting up traps, clearly, but, since the hunters of Pelt of the North prefer to use traps anyways, he might be the way to go. However, she is eager. She is skilled in at least killing creatures, though perhaps not with the finesse needed to, claim all of their important goods like, hides and claws and teeth and claw and everything. But I can see her appeal. She's got some strength in her, and perhaps she does need to get out of Gale Rocks. Her personality does not groove with the more serious nature of these folk, that's for sure, certain. A few young workers burst into laughter as one of them curls up in pain, holding her hurt thumb. You go, well, maybe there are some locals looking for a match in other villages. While the vast majority of the locals see this place as their home, and even feel indebted to their families and neighbors for looking after them, Paulus seeks a different path. He isn't even 20, but trained to work on the beach, is strong, slim, and a bit loud. I can even hunt fish, if that's the only work left, he admits when asked about his plans for the future. Just not here, not after all them neighbors turned a blind eye towards my harpy of a mother. He reveals the scars on his back, left by Willow with basically a willow whip. Ugh, not fun. You mention religion, and he shrugs without a second thought. I can do whatever, barring wicked spells. You make sure he means necromancy and blood magic. Right. All I want is a companion for the mornings and evenings, a woman with a kind soul, and if good winds allow us, to be the mother of our children. I'm ready to work for them till I faint. He flexes his muscles. I'd gauge my arm for that. Marina is a few years older, but much shorter, pale, and with dark circles under her eyes. While she hopes to find a wife or a husband, she won't leave the village. I have a 6-year-old. His father went to the Fogs on a foraging trip. I'd love to have more kids, but my forebears have been living in this village for longer than anyone can tell, and I'd rather not make our blood too thick. You ask what sort of traits she's looking for. Someone kind, loyal, serious, and diligent, no matter if they're a water carrier or an artisan. My own back is weak. It is, suffers after standing for long hours. I help with fish smoking, cleaning, foraging, whatever there is to do. When asked about her convictions, she looks at you as if the question is beyond absurd. I won't lie with a lad or lass that's a stranger to Wright's teachings. Paulus and Timo sound like a match made, to be quite frank. Timo is looking for everything that Paulus stands for, and Paulus is looking for everything that Timo is. So I'm pretty sure that that's a good thing. And the fact that he's willing to move to Howlers, it would be perfect for him. He would work in the fields. He would be happy, I think. And Timo is not ill opposed to moving elsewhere, but she'd prefer to stay in Howlers. So that works on two fronts. Like, I think this is perfect. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a match made, or shall we go looking for someone else? Marina absolutely needs somebody else. Not a good match. She wants to stay in Gale Rocks, which is fine. But there might be somebody in Creeks that would be better for her, to be quite frank. What does chat think? 1 or 2? Winter Fairy, if we look for someone else, we cannot put Paulus and Timo together. Just FYI. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I mean, we might be able to come back and set it up later. I'm not entirely certain. Remember that the people in Howler's Dell are druids. Paulus is not religious at all. It doesn't matter to him so long as he has work and a nice woman, he's happy. So he's not worried about religion. Just FYI. Marina would like a rights follower, but Paulus and Timo is we have the choice between we look for someone else or we tell Paulus about Timo. To be quite frank, let's see what the journal has to say. Let's get informed on our quest. Matchmaking. The youth of the peninsula could use help with starting families at other settlements. I can ask around, learn if anyone seeks a match for the approaching spring. Timo from Howler's Dell looks for a hardworking man who'd like to marry her according to the traditions of her ancestors, then either move in with her or take her to a new home. Paulus from Gale Rock seeks a new home and is willing to work hard and help his future wife take care of their children. Marina from Gale Rock seeks someone willing to move in with her and her son, but is only interested in rights followers. The tribe of Old Pagos seeks no spouses, primarily because they're in a plague. Wow, Count, that sounds amazing. I'm now hungry. Good on you. That sounds delicious. I would take some too. If only you were closer. Like in the same place that I am. Anyway, so Paulus says that front that he's not fussed. I don't think that he would be opposed by according to the traditions of Timo's ancestors. This could be a good match, especially considering he's willing to work hard, which is something she wants. And they neither of them have children yet, but they would like to have children. So they seem like a good match. That's what I'm seeing here. Marina and Timo are not a match at all. We don't even have the option to make them a match. We can tell Paulus about what we've learned about Timo, or we can look for someone else. That is the vote in front of us. 1 or 2. I have a vote for 2. Actually, I have 2 votes for 2, and I have a vote for 1. I have 2 votes for 1 and 2 votes for 2. Who wants to be a tiebreaker? Anybody else who hasn't voted yet, please tiebreaker me. All right, Trav, we're gonna tell Paulus about what we've learned about Timo, and hope. Cross our fingers. He asks you a few additional questions, some of which are centered around Timo's face and figure and spoken with embarrassment, then flashes you a wide smile. Right, she sounds dreamy. If she's in, I'm in. Let me know what she thinks about me. See? She has to agree. So we're just letting him know that there's a possibility, and when we go back to Howler's Dell, we'll tell Timo about Paulus, and she can say yay or nay, and that'll be that. As for Marina, we'll look for someone else. I could still learn more about the wares this village has to offer. Smell of smoke, baked fish, and cut herbs makes you more nauseated than hungry. I'm looking for someone. So which person or service are we looking for? For example, a guard. Let's see if there is a tailor. Ooh, hey, look at that. That one actually worked. I wasn't sure it was gonna. You get directions to one of the smaller buildings, which turns out to consist of only one spacious chamber. Like other caves in the village, it lacks sunlight, but the workbench standing right next to the entrance is well lit by an oil lamp. The old iron lantern is decorated with the shapes of seaweed and monstrous tentacles. On the counter, you see threads, scraps of clothes, old tunics, and some boots. Behind it, there's a mature woman, though you can't precisely guess her age. The flame, dancing because of your movements, distorts the shadows cast by her wrinkles and large nose. Her bright red tunic is light, made of something lighter than hemp or wool. The sleeves end at her elbows, allowing her hands to sew together 2 pieces of fabric. Greetings. She runs her dark yellow eyes over your clothes. Her hair may be getting gray, but the colorful wooden beads among them distract you right away. Cheers, stranger. You need something patched up? After your nod, she looks deeper into the store. Good, as I'm better at fixing tears than making togs. Take a look. Indeed, while there's plenty of shelves and cupboards covered with pants, tunics, jackets, robes, hats, boots, and bags, many of them seem old or made from 2 or 3 combined pieces of garment. We buy outfits from other villages, explains the tailor, maintaining her bored tone, and as they get worn and damaged, I turn them into something new. Love her blunt honesty. I do too. Yeah. Do you have anything for sale? My neighbors walk in and put on whatever they feel like wearing, but I ain't wasting our fabric on outsiders. Maybe you'd like some jewelry? When you mention you'd rather take something useful for a traveler, she hesitates. Well, if you really need, I can pack you some old tools of mine. They'd help you fix your armor and togs without anyone's help, though it ain't as easy as you would think. Fine, let's discuss the prices. All right, we can pay a coin for our jacket, which will be carefully patched up. Um, we can get outfit repairs on our clothes, which we can work for 2 hours for or pay a coin for. A gamison repair set is 9 coins and we only have 5. Dang. A sewing kit is 6 coins and we only have 5. Dang. We could buy a pendant showing our loyalty to the right and their churches for 2, which I would suggest not getting because we are pagan. We can't afford the sewing kit or the gamison repair set. It's too much money. However, we could get our outfit repaired and our gamison repaired. I know, curses. Sadly, it's too expensive for us. We spent too much money elsewhere. I mean, it seemed like the right thing to do at the time. I'm considering getting at least the gamison repaired and then working for 2 hours to get our outfit repaired. It's still early enough in the day for that. So I'm gonna pay a coin to get this repaired because, you know, our armor getting repaired, super useful. It will keep us alive. We need that. Absolutely. So I'm doing it. Aha! It's as good as we can make it. And then I'm gonna work for 2 hours and have our clothes patched and tidied. Because why not? It's just a couple of hours. And we'll save a coin. So we can always circle back when we have more coins. We're not buying the winged hourglass. We're not going to lie about being loyal to the right and their churches because no. We are a pagan and we're sticking with it. I'm trying to learn more about Cassia the guard. She doesn't look at you, but her hands start to move faster. And why would I be the one to ask about her? Okay, not willing to talk to us. Well, thanks. I head outside. So, Rufina the tailor is an option that we can have now. We did have appearance for a hot second there, but we're still dirty. Like, let's see what's holding us back. Yeah, we're just dirty. Everything else is fine. We're just dirty. I'm looking for someone. Bath. Ooh, we found it. Might I recommend a blacksmith? We don't have enough coins for anything a blacksmith has, I think. And also we need spider silk to upgrade our gamison. We've not found the spiders. They're probably in the heart of the forest, gonna be honest. The steep banks are damp, so you head upstream to the wooden bridge, but you can hardly reach any water with your fingers there. You consider getting undressed, but a sudden voice behind you tells you to quit it. This current is strong. It'll catch you and bam, the man swings his arms. You'll crack your skull against the rocks. He points downstream. He's a large person with heavy boots that are dirty from mud and a necklace made of a colorful shell as large as your hand. He approaches you, holding a few empty buckets, each one attached to a rope. He places them on the logs and crouches down, filling the buckets one by one. I ask him about washing myself at a well. He frowns. What are you, a child? What's your name? After you introduce yourself, he gives you a gentle nod. I'm Aquila. We bathe in tubs, right? I have warm water in the shed. He directs your eyes to the boulder next to the path, though in no way resembles a shed. resembles sheds that one would find in a city. He straightens up and carries the buckets up the bank, one by one. Either help me carry water around the village for a few hours or pay me if you're lazy enough. I'll make you a fine bath and wash your togs. He places the last bucket next to the boat, and you notice that another man is already taking one of them to the eastern gate. I could also sell you a bottle of perfumes, though it won't be much use if you've no soap. He grins with his yellow teeth as if there's a punchline hidden in his words. We pick flowers of roses, violets, lavender, cherry. Good for hair, ears, and wrists. Just don't drink it. Any thoughts on Cassia? He looks into a bucket as if seeking escape from your gaze. Nah, it's not right, talking behind one's back with a stranger. Tell me about your services. So, we can get bath and laundry for working for 2 hours. We could also buy a bottle of perfume for 6 coins, which we don't have. We're just going to work for 2 hours. If we have to sleep here, that's fine. I'm not worried about that. But at least we'd have a bath. I'm happy to while away my time in Gale Rocks and explore a bit, seeing as I only have about 20 minutes left to stream anyway. So we will just work for a couple of hours helping move the water around the town. That has helped us a lot. We are now way more trustworthy. If our vitality was up, we would absolutely be able to be even more so, but we're not bad. All right. He reaches for a bucket and looks around, seeing a spot where it may be of use. Yes, it is also a nice way of getting a better reputation in town. I step away. So, Aquila the Bathman, Rufina the Tailor, we will go looking for another person. Let's find a blacksmith. We'll just try Smith. See what happens. Ooh, look at that. There's a smith. The outer armory is next to the eastern gate, but you are led behind it through a fence gate to the training ground. You are introduced to Tatius, a muscular man who's walking in just his pants, displaying his muscular chest and arms, tanned and hairy, and his dusty, dirty feet. His teenage pupils, gathered on the trampled ground, also wear no boots and wear old, torn tunics with marks of blood and scratches both on their clothes and skin. The man is looking through a few toy weapons gathered in a barrel, a wooden sword, a few spears with their tips wrapped in rags, and similar-looking clubs. After your arrival, the man throws a spear to one of the younger kids, tells the others to get him like mad boars, and soon after that you hear a painful thud and cheerful laughter. He then offers you vivid red cherries, maybe the last ones this season. He may be just over 30 years old, yet his wide shoulders, unusual height, and straight posture make even his kindest words sound like a threat. You need something from me, Roadwarden? I'm looking for better equipment. Then you came to the wrong village. We don't sell anything we've stored at our armory. We need those things for ourselves. When you mention dragon bones, he looks away at the fighting kids and orders them to divide into 2 teams, letting the assaulted spearmen rest for a while. And what am I to do with dragons? Buy blades. He chuckles. His chuckle, while fake, is loud and moves his chest up and down. After you insist that he may want to think if there's nothing for an axe user, such as yourself, to find here, he puffs out his cheeks, thinking as he exhales. You know what? Come take a look. And you, he looks at the teens. A few minutes of rest. Don't lose any eyes. You go back to the armory's door, and after a few breaths, the man shows you a kite shield, so large it could cover half your shell with ease. It's a gift we received, but we don't use such a shape. It's too weird for us. You can buy it if you wish, or maybe you'd like to grab some quarrels. If you have a crossbow, we've enough of those. Let's discuss the price. We have 9 quarrels already. For 2 coins, we could buy 5 more, but I don't think we need any more bolts, to be honest. However, we have just enough coins to buy the shield, which would help us in combat. Then we'd be broke again. But we do have jobs lined up that will pay us. I'm very tempted at that shield. So I will leave it up to chat. 1 for shield, 2 for nothing. 1 or 2, shield or nothing. You guys vote. I will go with the majority. So long as I get 4 people from chat, the majority will win. We already have One vote for shield and one vote for nothing. So one or two, shield or nothing. You guys vote, and I will go with the majority. I have 2 votes for shield and 1 vote for nothing. One more person jumping in will either tie the vote, making me choose, or not. Oh boy. It looks like the shield buyers win, only because Count flipped. We're buying the shields. Let's go. Now we broke. He shrugs. Aside from what I've shown you, we need everything we have. Did you used to instruct Cassia? He starts to stretch his arms, giving himself a few breaths before he replies. I don't know what you want from her, but you do better looking for another pair of arms. When necessary, I can put her to use, but she won't listen to an outsider, no matter the coins. All right, then. I will step away. I am looking for an inn. Your search for an inn is futile, and the locals are quite proud that they have no place to waste their days with mugs and dice. They explain that if any caravan needs to stay the night, there's always enough space to empty one of the caves. If you need a room to spend the night, you're told Fulvia may have something. All right. I will look for Fulvia. Following the instructions, you reach a building with an entrance from the garden side. You step through the door leading into the mouth of the cave and call the person you were told to speak with, Fulvia, the roomkeeper. She comes to you from the half-dark corridor. She fits the description you heard, slightly round, partially because of the tunic and heavy pants hidden beneath the dark green robe. She looks like an eccentric city priest, what with the massive hourglass made of beautifully polished driftwood she wears, and the kerchief covering both her neck and hair. One feature that hasn't been mentioned by the locals are her eyes. Gray, asymmetrical, partially closed, and unfocused. Once she gets closer, she turns her head, gazing into the rock and pointing her left ear at you. Her steps are confident, and her hands keep touching the walls on both sides. She's old, wrinkled, and pale, but her voice remains strong. Your first instinct is to nod, only then realizing it won't really help you. She repeats, "You smell of a horse. Room?" Yes. Right. She simply walks down the corridor between the few humble chambers, some of which are inhabited by sleeping souls. After just a few steps, the light coming from the entrance helps you no more. You follow the sound of boots and the smell of rosemary perfume, then suddenly hear a rock hitting something made of metal. The lit candle makes you sigh with relief. What color? After a quiet moment, she tries again. The horse coat. Bay, black, gray, mouse dun. It's white with and black stripes. So 1, 2, 3, or 5. What is the color of our horse? And for that matter, nope. Inventory. Do we know for certain? Nope. The description does not say. So I guess we get to choose what color our horse is. Bay, black, gray, mouse dun, or white and black stripes. We could have a zebra. A very gigantic zebra. We do not have an official color. We have not chosen it yet. I have a vote for zebra and I have a vote for gray. Tell me, chat, tell me true. Which decision will we do? Yeah, we get these opportunities to decide details about the world, about Havlavin, about ourselves, about our horse. It's pretty fun. They're actually rather delightful choices that don't really do anything other than delight us. So, yeah, what if everybody rides zebras in this world? How cool would that be? I believe that is a second vote for zebras. So, 2 votes for zebras, 1 vote for gray. One more person weigh in. I will go with the majority. Or, if you leave it up to me with a tied vote, I will choose crazy. Because I am. Sanity. What is this? Whimsy is fun. Yes, Bromley, whimsy is fun. What do you think, Winter Fairy and Caleb? What do you think? Bay, black, gray, mouse dun, or zebra? Which one do you want? We would not want to insult Winter Fairy. She is a very dear, dear, lovely lady. Absolutely. I am much harder to insult. Just FYI. Well, it looks like zebra has the majority, so it has black and white stripes. From the barbarians? She uses this word with the type of irritation that's rare among the post-war generations. I doubt it'll avoid the beasts for long, standing out so much. The room is far from comforting. The ceiling only has a head above you. The walls are rounded and bare of any decorations, and the only chest looks like a crude crate. At least the dried grasses covering the sleeping pallet are bug-free and smell of freshness. You don't have to share it, she says with amusement. How much for this delight? She chuckles, still turned to you with her profile. Don't worry, you won't be cold, and we don't let anything mold in here. I have a nose for it, she demonstrates with a loud sniff. You can work for the village for merely a few hours in the morning, move some weights around, or you can pay me 2 coins. I won't take less, for I need none at all. I'll just throw it to Severina's chest in a few days. Do you know who Cassia is? She needs a moment to think. Rufina's sister, eh? Last time I spoke with her, she was but a small lass. All right, I leave the cave. Let us ask about Severina. Yes, the head woman. We were getting there. Yeah, lodgings for work is a good deal. I absolutely, especially if it gets this town to trust us better. We absolutely do want that. Our head woman is in the keep, says a young basket weaver with legs too short and thin for her to stand on. But she's not very patient with strangers, she's not, or with loud neighbors. You thank her with a nod and head to the hill on the western bank, walking past the big kitchen. The steep path leads through an open, unguarded gate. As you look around the yard, you notice a few pigeons running around, keenly observed by a pet griffin tied to a wooden beam. Some drying underwear hanging from a rope, a spiked flail leaning against the wall carelessly, and a knocked-over bucket lying in a puddle of water. The place is maybe messy, but it is not impaired in its function. Preparing it for defenses wouldn't take longer than a few minutes, and judging by the wall walk of the bailey, it could stand intact from a large squad of soldiers. The current state of the place makes you think of Hovlavin, whose stronghold yards and temple walls are often surrounded by small peddlers, a few of which are even allowed to set up their stalls. As long as they don't hinder anyone else's tasks, they're allowed to pursue the scarce scraps of open space. It is kind of that feel, Count. Yeah, absolutely. There's very much a feel of a campaign setting that someone has put together and written little descriptions for. It's actually really kind of lovely, and it goes really well with the pixelated isometric art that we have. So we can kind of track where we are in the world, even if there's no figures on the screen. It's very nice. Hey, look at the keep. The bright walls stand out from other structures in the village, and as far as you can tell, the current layer of whitewash is still fresh. There must be at least 3 floors inside, enough space to contain more than 100 people, though without much between them. There are arrow slits in the walls, and the roof is surrounded by a fence like barrier, a perfect spot for boulder throwers and archers. The large entrance door is ajar, with a wrinkled man sitting on a pillow placed on the stairs. He's not wearing a gamesson, but the fine steel sickle sword at his side makes it clear he's not just a regular guard. He stops what he's doing, carving a figurine from a log, and stands up to greet you. Cheers, Roadwarden. Severina was told about your arrival. Follow me. He may be old, but he is tall, and with the long and thin arms of a sea folk, a neatly groomed beard, and his gray hair in a ponytail. As you follow him, you're hit by the strong scent of cloves. I climb up the stairs. At least we made ourselves, decent before we met her. Oh, I love this cutaway view. That is so cool. The door is thick and can be barricaded with 2 wooden bars. The hall is filled with benches, some of which are placed on top of the others, giving a bit more space for now. There is one path to the next floor, suspiciously covered with planks. The chamber is free of the roaring of the river, the shouts of workers, the chaos of animals, or the smell of cooked food. The room is well built, both by sunlight and candles, and quite drafty, though you still smell perfumes and aging wood. You doubt anyone lives here or even uses this room for dining. The Roadwarden is here, says the guard, and approaches the desk, standing between you and the old woman sitting behind it. And now we take a closer look at her. So far, she hasn't spared you as much as a glance. She's writing on a large wax tablet with a stylus as large as a dagger, and since she's a bit stooped, you see her only from the chest up. She's wearing a thick, warm dress in the color of a cherry, and an even darker, modest hat that's covering her hair. She could be older than 70, yet her face and hands have been spared from scars harsher than some pockmarks carved by illnesses. If you were to encounter her in Hovlavin, you would expect her to be an official, or maybe a rich scribe. Some of her belongings, however, wouldn't be found at the city's desks. The wax of her tablet isn't dyed. Instead of keeping water in a cup, she has a large, colorful seashell, and the winged hourglass placed on a stone stand is made of dried seaweed. I glance at the young woman who sits in the corner. Her crossbow is pointing at you. The resemblance between her and the elder is stunning, though she's slim and a bit taller and wears a simple dark blue and black woolen tunic. While she's resting on a chair, she looks at you almost without blinking, with hardly any movement, like a cat staring at a rat, trying to judge if you're defenseless prey or a threat. Ooh, the daughter is very protective of her mother. So, we have the friendly greeting. It's nice to meet you, Severina. I came here to see if your village needs any help from a Roadwarden. The playful one. I smile and spread my arms. Considering the effort put into building this keep, I expected a bit of a larger garrison. The distanced. Greetings, or cheers, headwoman, either of which we will vote on later. The intimidating. I pat my axe. You seem to be worried, yet you skipped a few important steps when it comes to security. Or the vulnerable. I'm sorry to intrude while you're busy. I won't take up much of your time. I have a vote for friendly, because Winter Fairy always votes for friendly. I have a vote for not friendly. So truly distant, also an intimidating. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Friendly, playful, distant, intimidating, vulnerable. I have a vote for friendly, a vote for distant, and a vote for intimidating. Count, you're going to have to choose one. Yeah, suggesting they might need help from a wandering vagabond is not going to go well. Bromley wants us to get shot. Yes, we did hear the guard earlier say cheers to someone else. Cheers apparently is a common greeting in this area. Come on, chat. This is probably the last decision we make for the stream, so make it good. What are we doing? All right, so I have a vote for friendly, a vote for distanced, a vote for intimidating, a vote for vulnerable. You guys are leaving it up to me? You guys are leaving it up to me? Oh, this is bad. This is so bad. Bromley, be a tiebreaker. Vote for one of the ones that have already been voted. I could, but I have 9 viewers. Anyone else could jump in. Although Xylia, thank you for following me. You didn't have to, but I appreciate you. Welcome in, welcome in. Even though this is the end. So if you want, jump in on this very last vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Friendly, playful, distanced, intimidating, and vulnerable. That is the vote. Winter Fairy is still voting friendly. You guys are making me decide. This is a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible. That's it. I'm doing the vulnerable. You guys left it up to me. It was a problem. This is what you get. I'm sorry to intrude while you're busy. I won't take up much of your time. And that is where we are ending today. We're not even going to get into the many questions we could ask. So this is it for Roadwarden today. We have made some exploration progress. We've got lots of things we need to do. Making me choose Bromley is a terrible idea. Don't even put that in chat's head. I won't stand for it. That's what I have you guys for. Otherwise, I would play this by myself. But I want my chat to be here to help me make decisions, because decisions are hard. So hard. Yes. So yeah, this is where we will stop. This is where we will be. We will be in Gale Rocks starting tomorrow. I stream Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern US time. For those of you who are not on the East Coast of the US, whatever the comparable time is in your time zone, look it up. Google will tell you. But we do this Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Eastern US time. And today I have had so many followers. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate all of you. So I hope that the majority of you will come back tomorrow while we ask an old lady all the things about her town and probably make her mad. Or maybe not. We can hope and pray that we make friends today or tomorrow and today, really. We've made lots of friends in chat today. Thank you guys for those who participated. I appreciate my lurkers too. And I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their Thursday. So hopefully I will see more of you tomorrow. The sooner I make affiliate, the sooner there will be a hydrate button. But for that, I need 50 followers and 3+ viewers every stream. Like, that is all that is holding me back. So tell your friends if you want. I'm going to see if there's anyone to raid. Hey, my friend Dragon's Wolf Blade, who was here earlier, is streaming right now. They are streaming Dead by Daylight, which is not a game that I will watch, but head over there, say hi. If you like Dead by Daylight, you guys can join in on the fun there, and I will see you again tomorrow when I'm streaming. So, here we go. Let's rock and roll. Let's go raid. Woo! All right, you guys, take care. See you tomorrow. Bye!